on the New York Transit line.
Oh
Ooh.
my lord, we're on the airs.
What? I'm not dressed properly.
And I thought this was a naked podcast. All right. On that note, we're off to the elimination chamber.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Oh wait, no, I usually go 3, 2, 1. 3,
No.
2, 1. Welcome to Geekodrome. Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever.
Geekodrome is the weekly roundtable discussion of all things geek. I am Jon. Over there, he's Stugots.
Sup? Wakanda forever, my people.
So apparently, a movie came out this weekend.
A small independent film that I don't know if a lot of people saw.
No, I don't think that many did. It may have been one of those New York, L.A., Port Richey rollouts.
Yes, and that Middle America knows nothing about.
Yeah, so it's
a little art house film.
Little art house film. It goes by the name of Black Panther.
Ain't no party like Black Panther party, cause Black Panther party don't stop.
All night long.
All night. So you saw the movie when?
The Scepter. I'll go more into depth with what I did this weekend when we hit the hot picks. But needless to say, I worked an event all weekend. And New York pretty much sold out.
Damn.
Like, I mean, I was working in New York City, and I tried to see if there were any screenings for after the in the evenings after the event was out. A couple of stray seats here and there. That was about it. And at that point, I was just like, it's a good thing. I was too tired. Anyway, and I went this afternoon to an almost sold-out theater as well.
Wow. Well, today's President's Day. A lot of schools were closed up there in New York, right?
Yeah, so I think all the schools were closed.
All right. Schools here are open.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, behind me there was I went to a 2:45 showing, and there was like a classroom full of kids. Thankfully, they were quiet till like the very end.
Yeah,
so it wasn't so bad. Like they were during. I was afraid because during the previews they were a little rambunctious, but they just want the movie to start. And when did you see it?
Thursday night, 7 p.m. show. First show.
Very first show. And how packed was it down there in the Floridas?
About 20 people.
Really? And the theater holds how many?
It's a standard theater.
So it was like half full, 3/4 full?
Yeah, about half full. I mean, it's a first show. It's a Thursday night, it's a school night, you know.
Yeah, I should have checked. I didn't see how bad it was.
When we go to screenings, when we go to watch a movie like that, like first show on a Thursday night, there's usually about 10, maybe 10 people. So it was definitely more than what we usually get for that time.
No, that makes sense then. Because we'll get into the actual numbers when we talk about the bet later. Yeah. First, we're going to talk about the movie. So, since you saw it first, what did you think of it first?
I loved it. It was very good. It was, to me, I took it as though it was more story and character driven than action driven. Very much like Doctor Strange. There was a history to learn. There were characters to learn about, and a landscape to take in that seemed like it was constantly changing before your eyes. So you had to be paying attention to it.
Yeah, so I like that we were introduced to Black Panther, obviously, in Civil War.
Yes.
So they were able to play off that, but they still needed to build the world, because really all we saw was him, his father, and they kind of hinted at Wakanda at the end with the Bucky Barnes stuff.
There was one shot, like out a window, like from the sister's lab.
Yeah, it's because they were putting him into cold storage, and then, like, we'll take care of him. And then it was the shot of the big panther over the waterfalls or whatever. I haven't watched the movie in a little bit, but
I just watched it last week, I think.
Oh, okay. But so I love the movie. I have to say,
It was
like
so good.
it was just note for note
Hmm.
perfect. Nothing's wasted. Everything kind of leads into itself.
Yep.
Like you open with 1992, and there's even there nothing wasted because even what you think is just incidental turns out later to be a plot point.
Yes.
Except for the other three kids he was playing basketball with. I want to know what happened to them.
Yes. Where's that story?
I really think that's a whole nother movie.
If it was a Star Wars movie, Star Wars fans would be pissed that we didn't have a backstory on those kids.
It's so true. So true. I mean, where are they now? What happened to them? How are they involved in all of this?
Yes. What did they think and feel when they saw like a Quinjet type device speed off into the night? What was their motivation in life going forward?
Exactly. Well, all they saw were lights in the sky. Because remember, it was
Right.
cloudy, so they couldn't tell what it was.
These poor children. Marvel never addressed how they felt or what happened to them. This movie sucked.
So the only thing that kind of was iffy to me was just I hate like convenient coincidences in movies because they tend to be just we're too lazy to think of plot reasons for somebody to be there. When we had Martin Freeman in the casino being the guy doing the buying, it's like, oh, I know him from work. You know,
Yes.
other than that, like that's the only thing I thought was just convenient. You know,
sometimes you take a shortcut.
I know, and thankfully, if that was the only shortcut, it's forgiven.
Yeah,
because everything else was just world building, like between the characters, between the location.
The other thing, though, is how else would you have gotten him to make that connection? You needed his character to tie into the other movies. I felt
not just tie in, but he's exposition. It's like, oh, okay, we've got him back, and all of a sudden this happens, but we need to find a way to talk about how he did these things for the CIA, or the Navy, or SEAL Team 6, or whatever it was. You know, he was part of. He was part of that like kill crew.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was some offshoot of the Navy.
It was a Suicide Squad.
Exactly. But it's like somebody had to be the one to know, oh, I know this information. I need to impart it so the audience knows and so the other characters know. So you needed that exposition character, and it worked that it was him. I mean, the cast was just amazing too. Like Chadwick Boseman as the Panther was phenomenal.
Yep.
And then you put him.
I liked for me that the other characters were, well, other actors, just say, were men that and women that we've seen in other African films. If you ever watched the film The Air Up There with Kevin Bacon, the father, who is the king of the Wanabe tribe, plays Black Panther's father.
Oh, was he?
Yes.
That's awesome.
I recognize his cross eye. I didn't do the research. I just looked and he was like, oh, that's him.
Yeah, I didn't notice it in Civil War, but his eye was a little distracting in those scenes.
Right, and if you go and watch that movie from the 90s with Kevin Bacon, or was that late 80s? I think it was late 80s, early 90s. You'll see, like, the guy's eyes distracting.
All right.
And if I'm not mistaken, the guy who plays, like, his brother-in-law in Black Panther was from Cool Runnings. But I could be mistaken.
Oh, was he?
I think so.
It's kind of amazing.
Junior Beto.
Yeah, I haven't watched Cool Runnings in quite a few years.
You should watch it.
I know it's a fantastic movie.
Yes.
The bobsled. Bobsled.
Jamaica, you know we got a bobsled team.
Yeah, and then, you have some of the most beautiful women in the world here. Lupita Nyong'o, who's been in so much. Denai Guerrera, who we all love in Walking Dead. And then they both get blown out. You don't watch Walking Dead. So
Right.
That's not fair.
Right. Well, you said we all do. Well, I don't.
We all who watch it.
Okay.
How's that?
That's better.
But then you have, they're both kind of, I hate to say that, like, Leticia Wright kind of stole the scenes right out from under them.
Every scene she was in.
Yeah, it's like these like actors who are just, well regarded and considered very beautiful and everything, and then you just have Leticia Wright, who just kind of comes along, who's been in a lot of things herself, but it's just
cracking
kind of
wisecracks and smiling,
and she kind of steals all the scenes she's in.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Like, if you wanted strong female roles, you got them in this movie. It wasn't just a movie about Black Panther. It was about the country of Wakanda.
Oh, definitely. Like, they created a whole world in 2 hours.
Yes. You wanted rhinos, you got them.
Oh, come on, that final battle was kind of amazing.
That was awesome. That was, to me, it was like right out of Braveheart.
Yeah, because, I mean,
epic.
Even that, like, they kind of foreshadow that at the beginning of the movie, because you see the rhino and they're feeding it, and it's like, hi, we're friends. And even then they established M'Baku and Okoye just in one line.
Yes.
It was just like, my king, my love. And then, so we've established that they have a relationship, and that M'Baku is very close friends with T'Challa, plus he's in the council for the River Tribe.
What was the gorilla tribe people's name? Their king, because his character I like too.
Oh yeah, he was hilarious. M'Baku,
yes.
To be
big,
fair,
strong.
To be fair, I don't remember every name. I just had the IMDb page.
Yeah, that's why I asked you. I knew you had it open. I didn't remember it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'd forget people otherwise. So.
But I loved the gorilla mask. I loved that when they were fighting. It was so cool.
Yeah, like I kind of also almost want to learn more about the other tribes.
Yeah.
Again, that's a whole nother movie.
Yeah.
Because that they all have animal avatars, basically.
Yep.
The water tribe is obviously going to be the rhinos. T'Challa's people are the Panthers.
Yes.
M'Baku's are the gorillas. So what were the other two? Because it said it was 5 tribes.
One of them was the River Tribe. The dude with the coffee saucer in his lip.
Yeah.
The River Tribe.
There was the River Tribe, and then there was...
Everyone was dressed beautifully. Like, whether it was their African clothes or they had, like, some, like, Americanized, like, dress clothes, it was still all looked perfect.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me of just that scene where they have the trial by combat.
Yeah.
Where M'Baku takes on.
Yes.
T'Challa. Just, that was so beautiful.
It was.
You see all the people in the cliffs,
mm-hmm.
and it just seemed like just this huge production, like out of something like a Disney musical or something. Like, that's all I could think. Like, how colorful it was, how musical. And I mean,
and Jordan's character was great too.
Oh yeah, Killmonger.
Yeah,
he was awesome. And again, even there, like, nothing was wasted. It's like,
no.
I made 2 costumes, so you can take your pick.
Mm-hmm.
Killmonger happens to find one of them. What a coincidence. It's like everything. Like, he went through, you could tell without even having to say anything, you just kind of assume he went through everything in Shuri's lab, and all of a sudden all these like super weapons are around. Oh, it was so brilliant. I have to
the final battle was really cool between the two of them. I don't know how in depth you want to get. We
always do, but we can give it a few minutes. But one thing, all right, so I guess we can go into the final battle a little bit at this point, because like there's one thing that bothered me in that.
Go ahead.
They're supposed to be in a sound dampening tunnel.
Yes.
Because it protects the vibranium.
Yes.
As established early in the movie.
Mm-hmm. So
we know it's sound dampening. But they're able to talk.
Yes, and
clearly
to each other. Yes.
And I'm just, that's the one thing. It's like, how does it dampen sound and let them have a conversation through a moving train?
And not one person has to say what. Jen's sitting 2 feet from me here. If she says something to me right now, I say what twice.
And neither of them raised their voice.
Yeah.
They were at normal speaking level, talking through a moving train.
Yes.
That was the only thing that bothered me in that movie.
It would look like a Stone Cold Steve Austin promo.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? So I think that was the only thing that bothered me in that whole movie.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, but like,
But they did stay true to the characters. Like, do you want to go into spoilers?
yeah, let's do that. We'll go into spoilers now.
Like when Killmonger he has to make that choice at the end. Do you want to live or die? He stayed true to his character and was like, "I'll die. I don't want to live in a cage and in chains because that's not who I am." And it was like, from a movie standpoint, you're like, "Dude, you have a good villain here. We might want to bring him back for a sequel." You know, you got to think that sequel money. And they stayed true to it, and it was like, and they let him die. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. So I mean, the two villains in this movie both die because they bring Claw, the plot device that brings him back, and then Killmonger at the end, which brings into like, I forget the article I read, but it's like Marvel has a villain problem because most of the time when they just defeat the villain, they kind of kill him.
Yes.
And it's just like, well, it kind of has a problem for repeating villains.
Yes.
If you're killing them at the end of every movie.
Like even in Ultron, they go out of their way to show that each and every droid of Ultron was destroyed. Like not even like some tech somewhere. You know, like in the Terminator movies, there's always like an arm left. You know?
Yeah. But
to set up the sequel.
Problem is, if you leave Ultron, all of a sudden he just takes over the world.
Yeah.
Like you have to defeat a villain like that.
Yeah.
But really, except for Loki, they kind of are rather permanent about their villains.
Yes.
Is there anyone else that wasn't like just utterly destroyed at the end of their movies?
Nope.
I mean, I'm trying to think. But obviously Loki.
Red Skull, dead.
Red Skull can get brought back because he
can.
He went into the cube, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, you know, if depending what happens with Infinity War, there's the possibility that they bring him back with the cube. So I'm not completely writing him out.
Okay.
But he is dead for all intents and purposes otherwise.
But bringing him back to life could be part of the story. Like with Crossbones. In the comic book, doesn't Crossbones get with like Red Skull's daughter to try to bring him back to life?
Yeah. And I loved that character, Sin.
She's cool.
Yeah, she was awesome. Not so much a big fan of when they burned her face off and turned her into a skull. But the rest of it, I just loved how psychotic she was.
You know, so it's like, all right, that's one. The Doctor Strange villain, they defeat, but they make a new villain at the same time, don't they?
Yeah, they defeat Dormammu, and God, I'm gonna forget the name of Mad Mikkelsen's character.
Yeah,
but he's defeated. But Mordo becomes a villain.
Right.
We know that when we ever see a Strange sequel, Mordo's the villain.
Yeah.
You know, so I that's fine. But
I don't mind you killing off a villain if you immediately introduce what could be next.
Yeah, if you give us more possibilities.
Yeah.
So we have that. You know, the Thor villains, Loki. We're not going to see the Dark Elves again.
No.
And Malekith. Nope. And then the third one was the Grandmaster. So maybe we'll see Grandmaster again.
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Because remember, he crash lands into the planet at the end.
Yeah. No, he was good.
But Surtur, we won't see again. Hela, we won't see again. Very unlikely, anyway. Then again, I mean, they're working in trilogies, so
right.
Unless they go back to Thor, like the Thor villains are done. Captain America, Red Skull's done. Bucky is still around.
Yep.
Who was the main villain on 2?
It was Winter Soldier was the main villain, and Robert Redford's character.
That's right. Yes, who's gone?
I
knew there was a second villain. He's dead.
Yeah,
because we watched him die.
Yeah.
In Civil War.
Yep.
Civil War. We had at home at Zemo.
Yep. Dead.
Did they? No, they put him in prison.
Oh yeah, yeah. Who was the dude they killed at the beginning of Ultron?
The one they killed at the beginning, Ultron. I'm blanking.
They were trying to get into the compound, and then he ended up being killed by Ultron. What was his name?
Oh shoot, I'm blanking who it was.
Yeah,
because there was Crossbones was the beginning of Civil War.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm gonna blank on that one.
It's all right.
But all right, again, that's another.
But he's dead. So.
Dead villain.
Yep.
Iron Man pretty much killed all of his villains.
Yep.
Because one, they killed him. 2, did they kill Whiplash in the end of 2? I'm blanking on that.
I don't think so. I think he gets taken away.
Okay, so he's still alive, but
they won't do anything with him.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't a great villain to begin with, the way they did him. And then 3 was what's his name with the nanites and everything.
Yep. He's dead.
Although I would love to see a return of the Mandarin.
Yes.
But a proper Mandarin, if they do.
Like how they introduced him at the first one.
Yeah, like I loved the intro. I just didn't necessarily love the follow through.
No.
Because Mandarin, it can be a great villain.
They'll never see it coming.
Yeah. I mean, the other problem is, and it's the obvious one, is like the whitewashing of Mandarin in that movie.
Yeah.
Which is something they could fix and be like, find a way to talk around it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Killian had some sort of deal with the real Mandarin to hide his identity and whatever.
Now is the time not for shadows, but for sunlight. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's Venom. We don't see that one until October.
Oh.
And again, it's outside the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Marvel Cinematic Universe proper. So I mean, again, that brings us to the villain problem, where it's like you can't have an ongoing feud unless it's Loki.
And I just think it's because he was so great. Not to say that these other actors haven't been. I just think in their minds, it's like, nope, Loki's the one we got to hang on to.
Well, I think Loki was planned. Well, I mean, so in the comics, Avengers #1, the reason they all get together is Loki.
Yeah.
And I think they were looking at the comics and going, well, it worked in Avengers #1. Let's do it for, the movie.
Every single movie.
Well, after Thor, the first Thor movie and the first Avengers movie, and they saw the response he got.
Yeah.
Then it was just
he's brilliant. He is. He's brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, completely. I mean, I could watch a movie of just him. But to bring us back to Black Panther, because we might as well talk about it while we're here.
Yep.
I will say I also love seeing some of the old guard of just great actors like Angela Bassett and Forrest Whitaker. Like they weren't huge parts, but they added so much.
I had no idea Forrest Whitaker was in it, and when I saw him, I was like, "Oh!" And then Jen's next to me, elbowing me, like, "Hey, look who it is!"
And he's good in anything.
Yeah.
Like he's one of those actors who's just become one of those like greats that if he's in it, it's good.
Yes.
And there's so few actors like that anymore. So yeah, I'll watch anything he's in. Crying Game was a little iffy. I don't know if I'd watch that again, but
little too close to home for you.
I don't know. It's just I also haven't seen it since I saw it 20 years ago, 25. So I don't know. I have nothing against it. I probably just saw it, being a kid and all.
Yes.
But I just thought Ryan Coogler's just work on this was amazing. This is probably the second movie I've seen by him.
Yeah.
Because I loved Creed as well.
I loved Creed. Man. Creed is I really feel like my second or third favorite Rocky film.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. Yeah. So he has 3 full-length movies: Fruitvale Station, Creed, and Black Panther.
Wow.
The rest are all shorts or TV series. And so I've seen 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
And the other one I hear is fantastic, and I don't know. For whatever reason, I just haven't seen it.
It's all right.
And, at this point, I want to go back and watch it because these other 2 were so good.
Yeah.
But I hear it's also a little hard to watch because it's very political and everything.
Oh, I wouldn't like it then.
Well, it depends what kind of politics you don't like.
My thing is with politics, I just don't care.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying it's like, voting type politics.
Oh.
I mean, just the quick synopsis from IMDb. the story of Oscar Grant III, a 22-year-old Bay Area resident who crosses paths with friends, enemies, family, and strangers on the last day of 2008. So, and it also stars Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, cool. Wow, he's in all his movies.
He really is. So yeah, so it's not politics, just like, social politics and things like that.
Oh, I gotcha.
So, but I loved this movie. I really did. I think like it almost brought me to tears a couple times, just how good it was.
It was everything I thought it would be. I was not let down at all.
No. So, and then we had 2 closing scenes.
Man, the closing scenes. Go ahead. I'll let you talk about the first one first.
Well, the first one was the follow through from, what he was saying at the end of the movie, where I want to bring Wakanda to the world without doing it in the ways that Wakabi and Killmonger wanted to do it.
Yes.
Doing it a little more socially aware, without violence. And it was just great. Although I didn't know the UN was in Austria.
I like how they changed that for the movies and get it out of New York.
Yeah. Well, I think it was good that nothing in this movie took place in the United States.
Yeah. Except for Los Angeles.
Yeah, except for that one little bit.
But what I liked about that scene was that it shows, hey, we're going to change things at the top in the world, at the United Nations, but at the same time, we're going to change things at the street level by going back to that South Central LA area.
Yeah, and connecting it
going
to
up
the
from
beginning.
there,
and connecting it to the beginning, where this is where we created the problem.
Yes,
this is where we're going to fix the problem.
Right at the street,
so at the street level.
Street level.
That particular street.
Yes.
It's the gauntlet, taking it from the beginning.
Yes.
Following through and matching it to the end. So that, this is where we created Killmonger. This is where we're going to fix the problem.
Yep.
So.
Like a drifter.
Born to walk alone.
Mm.
So, is there anything you didn't like about this movie?
No. I liked everything. I liked the second bonus scene,
which we didn't mention. So, what is the second bonus scene?
We see Bucky walking around, being called White Wolf.
Yes,
by the children.
He's sort of been adopted by the tribe,
which makes total sense as to why he will now fight for Wakanda in the upcoming Infinity War film. Yeah,
especially since it looked like they were putting him to cryo.
I do have a theory I would like to bounce off of you.
I would like to hear your theory.
Which Infinity Stone is missing still?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. Well, we know the mind is the vision. Or is that the soul?
I will cut to the chase for you.
Okay.
It is the Soul Stone.
Hmm.
Could it be that the object that fell from the sky and landed in Wakanda and brought about this new life and helping connect the humans with the to the ancestral plane? Could be the Soul Stone.
So that huge meteorite that was like 1,000 pounds or whatever.
Inside of that.
So it's the power behind the vibranium.
Yes.
That would work. That would definitely work.
It was just a stone, the Infinity Stone flying through space. This weird metal, vibranium, attracted to it. Boom.
Or it was just embedded in the meteor that hit.
Yes.
Somehow.
That too.
So it's buried in the mountain.
Yep. And Thanos goes there to get it. Black Panther and his people got to defend Wakanda. Who better to help them than Bucky, their new white sheep of the family?
Well, we saw it in the trailer. There's definitely Wakanda.
Yep.
Cap is definitely there.
Yep.
Bucky.
With the Wakandan technology shield.
Yes. So we had Cap, Bucky, not Scarlet Witch, Black Widow was there in that scene. Black Panther, all of them running with all the animals behind them.
Yep.
So, yeah, we're going to be seeing some more Wakanda
in our future.
I can't wait. So, but do you know?
Yes.
How much money this movie made this weekend?
Was it at 200 million?
It is $201,797,000.
That's a good guess. I had a good guess.
You had a good guess. You were close. It was the rounded number.
Where was it on the all-time list?
Funny you should mention that. It is the 5th highest grossing opening weekend of all time. It is the number 1 February opening, obviously then. Yes. Stealing it away from Deadpool from a couple years ago. And only 4 movies have beaten it. Can you guess what those 4 movies are?
I don't have the link from last week that we used.
You don't need it.
Oh.
Because that link from last week only had superheroes.
Oh.
And there is only one superhero movie above it.
Oh. So it's Titanic?
Nope.
Oh, I don't know.
Titanic was a slow build.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's one of the highest grossing, but it only had a mediocre opening weekend, and it escalated through repeated views and lasted for months upon months.
I've never seen it.
It's okay.
I never will.
All right. So, number 1.
Yeah.
Star Wars, The Force Awakens. Number 2. Star Wars, The Last Jedi. Number 3. Jurassic World. Number 4.
Aquaman, starring Vinny Chase.
Well, that's 3.5.
Okay.
Number 4.
Yeah.
Is Marvel's The Avengers.
Nice. So all gigantic franchises in front of it that had build-ups, anticipations, and in the case of the Avengers, other films building up to that.
Yeah, I mean, that had 4 years of build-up.
Yeah.
And then we have number 5, which, is part of that Marvel build-up.
Yes.
We had him, I mean, because Civil War did help with the build-up 2 years ago.
Definitely.
Because number 6 is Age of Ultron. Number 7, Civil War. And I'm just going to run down the list to 13 is The Dark Knight.
I remember when you and I were talking about this film about a month ago, we'd said privately that we thought it would do better than Civil War because it was already outpacing it for pre-sales. We
did, but we both kind of underdecide when we put the bet out. Yeah. I think I underbet and you just kind of went above me.
Yeah.
Because I said I just Batman is a franchise by itself. Let's be honest. And it's like it's not superhero. It's above and beyond. It's outside of that.
Yes.
But I didn't think it necessarily would do better than all of the Batman films.
Yes.
And you said, all right, well, it's going to do better than the Batman films.
Yes.
So I said it would do better than Spider-Man 3.
Yes.
At $151 million.
Yes.
Which is still nothing to sneeze at.
No, not at all. Achoo.
Meanwhile, Dark Knight, $158 million.
Yes.
Dark Knight Rises, $160 million. But that means that you have won the bet. and there will be a Funko coming your way. And
right, I've decided.
I think we're going to have the big reveal in the future. So you can watch the Twitters. You can watch the next episode for the big reveal.
Okay.
So we're going to have it's a cliffhanger.
Ooh, I like it.
Cliffhanger. So that leaves only one other cliffhanger to reveal. And it's not Who Shot JR.
What?
It's what are this week's hot picks?
Oh man, this cliffhanger. This cliffhanger every week takes the country by storm.
It so does. It so does.
Yeah.
And what is yours this week, Senor Stugots?
Well, if you've been following along on the show for the what we've done 55 episodes.
We are on episode 58.
All right. You know that I am a very big pop vinyl fan. Over the last few days, there was the New York Toy Fair, and Funko and Pop Vinyl had a bunch of new releases, and some of these releases are just absolutely insane. Smallville, Nickelodeon from the 90s. So you get stuff like Ren and Stimpy, Cat Dog, what was the other one? The Wild Thornberries. All these awesome shows that from, I don't want to say our youth because they were in the 90s. I was in my 20s.
Yeah, but we were a little older than that.
Second adolescence, I guess, of shows that were just absolutely awesome. And I really feel like if I wasn't a minimalist, I would just have thousands and thousands of pop vinyls. But these ones that have come out are awesome. They're all awesome. But to see the detail in them and how popular they're getting, where they just keep looking for more and more stuff to make pop vinyls out of, I really feel like you should just be following along on their Twitter for no other reason other than to see what comes up next.
So your pick is all the pop vinyls based on the 90s then?
Yeah, and the Twitter account for Pop Vinyl. Just for no other reason but to look at the pictures that they're posting of the cool pop vinyls and then be like, let those pictures bring back some good memories for you. Because they're pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I saw some of them in Toys R Us tonight as well. Considering there's a Toys R Us in the same building as the movie theater that I went to.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, and a ShopRite, which was also convenient for when I needed to make dinner tonight.
Yeah. Oh, so you went right by your house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice little building that has a bunch of shops.
Oh, excellent.
Like that. A couple others too. So the reason I had to do that was because I was busy this weekend at an event called Lego Live. I am a Lego builder, and I'm also a Lego Mindstorms community professional, and I was asked to participate as part of Lego Live in their Mindstorms booth to demonstrate robots. So we had some of ours that we'd previously built, and then we were showing the kids how to build sumo robots, where they would take our base robots, decorate them, build them up, program them, and then do battle and have them fight it out in the ring to see who can push a robot out of the ring first, or, create as much destruction as possible.
Excellent.
So it was a lot of fun.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, it's great. It's great, doing all that with kids and whatever.
I like that stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was 3 days, which means my voice is just now coming back. I hope I'm not too bad today because of it.
Pineapple juice will help soothe it.
I was doing orange juice. I prefer that to pineapple.
I know, but the pineapple has a thicker solution to it, so it'll coat the throat better.
No comment.
I'm just giving you some homeopathic remedies.
All right.
If you get like your bottle of water, you know how like you have your bottle of Poland Spring, take a couple sips out and put some honey in it and shake it all up and drink that. That'll help a lot too.
But that's not environmentally friendly to use a bottle of water like that.
Use it twice.
Oh, okay. So on that note, if you want to see some pictures, I say Google out the Lego Live. Maybe I'll post some of mine when I finally get around to it. I'm a little behind on all of my social media because of this weekend, as well as all of my news. So I don't even know what's been revealed at Toy Fair this weekend for the most part. Otherwise, we might have hit one or two of those things. No, but there's always next week for that.
Always.
We do love toys because we're sometimes just big children.
Yes.
Yeah, I can say I came out with some Lego. this weekend.
Oh, awesome.
So it was interesting. I might have picked up some Black Panther sets, but they sold out before I hit the shop Sunday afternoon.
I figured.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll pick them up eventually. You know, they're cool looking. There's a Rhino. There's a Black Panther. There's
excellent.
You know. So, let's get this gauntlet on the road then. To find more Geekodrome, check us out at geekodrome.co. Subscribe on iTunes or your favorite podcatcher and give us 10 stars because really, we're twice as good.
Yes.
You know, connect with us on the Twitters at Geekodrome Pod and on Facebook at Geekodrome Podcast. I'm John. I can be found on Twitter at Just John.
Just John.
Stugots, who's slowly getting quieter, is a lot more vociferous at Don Stugots on the Twitters.
I'll tell you a couple things that happened over the weekend off the air, and I'll explain why I'm so tired today.
It's fine. It's the holiday weekend.
It's not a holiday weekend. I worked all weekend. We don't get holidays.
Well, you know, you got to take care of the people who are holidaying this weekend.
Yes.
So, did you eat them up this week, though?
Wednesday. Wednesday, what's that? The 21st will be eat up this week, only because of how hectic today and tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, are for me.
Understandable. Sneak preview at all, or do we just have to tune in and find out?
It's going to be a perfect snack.
I love snacks. I got a bag of M&Ms right here.
No, it's better than M&Ms.
Oh, better than M&Ms.
Yeah.
Ooh, tempting. All right.
You got what's the big thing coming up? March Madness comes up next month, right? Yeah, you're going to want this snack for your March Madness.
All right. I can't handle all the madness.
It's madness.
One
step beyond.
All right. On that note, then, we point at the WrestleMania sign, and then it's just been
too sweet.